today, one woman fearless. But the fact is, from what I understand, we are 350 plus fearless women in this auditorium today. So give yourself a round of applause and thank you all for showing up here and being fearless. You know, fear is something that keeps us in a spot. It can keep us from moving forward. But what is fear? A lot of people talk about what fear is, but if you break it down, it has a meaning to it. It's false evidence from actual reality. And sometimes that false evidence to actual reality keeps us where we are. And where we are is safe. Safe in what we know. We stand on the shorelines and we watch the ocean and we decide, do we step in or do we stay here safe? But there's choices you can make. And you can always get up to date and conquer every single fear that you have. And sometimes the fear will come in different ways. Sometimes conquering it will come in different ways. When I got divorced, I wasn't too sure where I was going to land up. Was I going to stay on the shore? Was I going to swim in the ocean? Was I going to take a boat out somewhere? How many of you have ever felt like that? Where you're standing on the shoreline and, well, I've got a perfect white line here, like it's the shore, and you're like, maybe? I don't know. You feel that? Okay. So that's where I was. So around 7 years ago, I was standing in a place not knowing what I was going to do next. I had been married 25 years, had 3 kids, and now I had to make a new life for myself. I was in business. I had had many businesses over the years as I kept evolving. I started off as a dance teacher, and I owned my own dance school when I was 17. I went into the fashion world through modeling, going into the fashion world. And the reason I'm telling you this is not to pat myself on the back, it's because I'm wondering how many of you can identify with change, with evolution. And if you can't identify, would you like to identify with it? Because that's what getting up to date is all about. Making the evolution, making that change, making decisions. From the fashion industry, I got into events through a tragic accident that happened to my son. Hospital saved my son's life. I decided to give back, got into events as philanthropic, and the next thing I knew, with a partner, we had a thriving business. We did parties for all kinds of charities, which was our passion, giving back to people who had given to us. And the next thing we knew, we were making events for stars like Mia Farrow and Sir Richard Branson. Our passion always went, though, and even with them, even with those stars, we always were involved in the charities. It was their charity organizations that we participated in. Then comes the divorce. Now what? So in amongst all these different aspects of my life, one thing that was very sure was that people around me were talking about one thing. Through my divorce, through trying to save my marriage, after my marriage, while I was going through divorce, after my divorce, everybody talked about one thing that was prevalent. What do you think that was? What do you think people talk about the most? Anybody want to give it a guess? Love. Relationships. Think about it. How often are you out at a restaurant where one of your friends sitting at the table is talking about love? The one they want for themselves that they're not happy with, the one that they want to find, the one that they're in that they're not happy with, the one that they're in but they want to make better. They want to update something about their love life, their relationship world. And it all starts with self. And that's where I was. I was knowing that I had done, the speaker before, she was talking about limited beliefs. I'd done that work. I had done that throughout my divorce, trying to figure out, am I doing the right thing? Who am I? What do I want to do with the rest of my life? So I did that work. And the first thing that I do in my work as a coach now with all my clients, whether it's at retreats or one-on-ones, is we talk about lifestyles, values, and goals. First step, before you can move forward in anything in life, and before you can have relationships with anybody else, you have to know your lifestyle, your values, and your goals. And then you keep getting up to date with the change of those goals, the things that you want to make happen for yourself. And that goal can keep upping. That glass ceiling can keep rising and creating new glass ceilings. And then you break through them. So I thought at that time during my divorce, listening to a lot of negativity, people telling me, well, I'm sure some of you have heard this, there's no good men out there. Right? Okay, no good men out there. That's like a classic. Anybody who walks into my office for coaching, there's no good men out there. If they're walking in for matchmaking, okay, I know you're never going to be able to find them. Then why come to me? Right? But the one thing is, they're fallacies. That's the fear. False evidence versus the actual reality. So I decided to write a blog. That was my first getting up to date with myself. I was going to write a blog, 365 Days to Find Love, because every matchmaker that I met, and I did meet a lot of matchmakers, I was very interested in meeting somebody, and somebody said, well, you have to sign a contract. It's a 1-year contract, and this is how much it costs. And I read the contract, and then I said, maybe I'm going to make that pact with myself. That's where we're getting today, to the pact that I made with myself. But I also decided I'm going to write a blog. I'm just going to throw it out there to the universe. That's what we do sometimes. When we want to move forward, we throw things out to the universe, but we work towards that goal. We work towards that universe. It doesn't just come to us. You put it out there, you draw it in. But you got to put it out there, and you got to do the work. So I decided I'm going to write this blog, 365 Days to Find Love. And I am going to find out everything that I can about this new dating world. Remember, I'm 52 at this time, and I haven't been single since I was 25. Talk about reversal in life, right? Anybody else been in that place? You know what? I want to ask right now, let me take a second here. How many people in this room are single? How many people in this room are in a committed relationship? How many people in this room are married? How many people in this room are happy with their relationship status? Okay, that was the most hands that went up. And good for you. Like, give yourself a little pat on the back, give yourself a personal hug. You know, everybody do this, right? I got to tell you, right now, I was so happy I did that tapping. Thank you so much. I'm up here much more relaxed, doing my thing, so thank you, because I did do it with all of you. Wasn't that great? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wrote this blog, and I thought, I'm going to share it with everybody. I'm going to find out everything there is about the dating world, the relationship world, and I'm just going to put it out there. And a woman had said to me not long before, she had said, you know, you're 52 years old. You better make it your business. Think of the words. Words are important in life, right? You better make it your business to get out there and find a man fast. They all want somebody younger, so you're basically screwed, okay? So that word kept in my head. And lo and behold, who do I meet? The creator of Lava Life. Oh my God. Yeah. And he says, you know what? You've got something here. You've got a story. You've got a mission. And you can help other women and men break through that glass ceiling of love. Why don't you learn everything you can? Remember, this is about getting up to date, right? Learn everything you can about the dating world. So I said, okay, I will. I'm going to make it my business. 2 weeks later, I signed up for a course in LA, went to an iDate conference to learn everything I could, show up at the iDate conference, introduce myself to the person who runs it, and he said, you know, we had a speaker who just canceled for this afternoon. you want to speak? I said, about what? Like, what am I speaking about here? And he said, well, I like your concept. Why don't you pitch it? And this is in front of all the business people who are involved in online dating. These are the creators of Match.com, Tinder. I hope you're not on Tinder. Please tell me you're not on Tinder if you're single. Because, unless you just want to have some fun. This gentleman that I had met the night before at this conference says, yeah, she's going to speak. And I'm like, what did you just do to me? And he goes, no, you're going to be fine. And here I get up there, and like all these people are pitching their new businesses and all these new apps and everything. And they all have these PowerPoint presentations. And I get up there, and I'm like, hi. Didn't know what I was doing. The purpose of this, me sharing this with you, is this is how it started. Okay? It's an instinct. And sometimes, if you just take a moment and listen to your instinct at any given time, any given day, something that's going on in your life, and you're standing at that shoreline, and you've got fear staring at you in the face, I'm not telling you to dive in if you don't know how to swim. I'm telling you to do this. Test the waters. But don't be afraid to test the water. So 365 days comes, why I'm in LA, I sign up for a coaching certification. I decide, you know what, I'm taking this all the way. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going with my instinct. Fast forward to the end of that year, and it's 365 days to find love. I'm on a TV show, and a woman says to me, so, did you find love? And I went, I sure did. And everybody's sitting there in the station, like waiting, like, who's it gonna be? And I'm like, I found love of me in the present moment. You're all shaking your head, right? Have you felt that ever in your life? I sure hope so, right? Yeah? I said, and through that, I found love in a new career. I'm a relationship coach now. Now it's the end of the year, 365, and everybody's saying, so what are you going to call it now? If you're going to move forward, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm not really sure. All I know is I want to keep spreading this. I want to keep spreading the understanding. I want to keep spreading the knowledge. I want to keep sharing. I want to keep inspiring. I want to keep supporting men and women to achieve everything that they want to do. So how do I do it? Go to another conference, and somebody says, you know what? Like what you got, how about you host a talk show? And I'm like, yeah, okay. 6 months later, I've got a talk show on CJAD, and I've got all these mentors behind me, and I built my team who supported me through it. It was a process. I had to get to that place where I was going to be. But it didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly. I actually want to take you on a journey on this one, okay? I want to share this part with you because when I was hesitant and didn't know how to get to the next space, to the next up-to-date, I was supposed to be going away that Christmas, the end of 365 days. I was supposed to be going to Beirut. On a Friday night, standing in my hallway, suitcase beside me, big suitcase, and I travel late. I go away to Europe for 2 weeks in a carry-on bag. But this was a big suitcase because I was going to Beirut 10 days, and I was going to every Christmas, New Year's Eve party that you could imagine. So it was filled with evening gowns, cocktail dresses, and stilettos. And my mother comes in the door and she goes, Cheryl, you're a nice Jewish girl. You had to change your passport and get your ex last name taken off of it. Please don't go. You're making me crazy. Don't go. You can't do this to me. So I said, Mom, I have my ticket. There's my suitcase. You can't be serious. What happens? My first instinct is, I'm not going to go. I'm going to feel guilty. How can I do this to my poor mother? At that point, my late brother was very ill, and she's like, I can't take it. So I canceled my trip. Now I'm waking up Saturday morning. It's New Year's Eve. And I'm like, what did I just do? I'm out of guilt. And then I'm like, it doesn't feel like guilt inside. It feels like something stronger. It feels like empowerment. So I'm like, what am I going to do? It's New Year's. All my kids, first year ever. No kids are at home. I go online. I call up Kripalu Yoga Retreat in the Berkshire Mountains. I go, do you have any courses? What can I take this week? They said, well, actually, we have a course starting tomorrow. It's called Fearless Monkeys. It's a writing course. And I'm like, writer, I'm a writer. I'm going to take this course. I'm going to get better at it. So I sign up. I take a knapsack, fill it with yoga pants, my Birkenstocks, my toothbrush, and some deodorant, because I want to be considerate to the other people at the yoga retreat. And I get into my car as I walk by my suitcase, filled with stilettos. Talk about total opposites here, right? Hop in my car, and I'm driving to the Berkshires. And I'm feeling pretty good. This sounds okay, until I cross the border. And then I'm going, what am I doing? I haven't been to a yoga retreat in 10 years. I had been to this retreat 10 years before. It was a horrendous experience. My girlfriends kidnapped me. I thought I was going on a girls' weekend. And instead, I'm finding out that I'm showing up to this retreat that I'm not allowed to. Well, at the time I used to smoke. I'm not allowed to smoke. I'm not allowed to have alcohol, no caffeine, vegan, vegetarian. And they inform me as I get there, I can't talk to them during breakfast. Seriously, how many women do you think go out with their friends and can't talk? You see this face? I talk. So I said to my girlfriends, guess what? I'm sleeping in the morning. You go to breakfast and I'll meet you when we can talk. Okay? But I'm driving and I'm sitting there in my car and now this fear is coming over me. This is crazy. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I start talking to my late grandmother and I go, Nanny, you got to give me a sign. And this is a true story on my life. Nanny, you got to give me a sign. Like, this just seems crazy. I'm supposed to be in Beirut. Instead, I'm sitting here. It's like partially snowing, and I'm looking around. The snow's coming down. Slush is going. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing a truck coming up behind me. You know that fear that goes into you sometimes when you hear a truck in the snowstorm? Yeah, okay. So I'm seeing the truck, and I'm like, Nanny, you better give me a sign that I'm doing the right thing. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. And all of a sudden, I look out of fear that this truck is coming up my side, and I'm seeing the cab, and all I can think about is he's going to spew the slush on my window, and I'm going to have an accident. I'm like, okay, I'm going to die. I should have gone to Beirut. I probably would have been safer. And then I look up as this truck passes by, and my name is Cheryl Besner. The truck has Besner written on it in big letters. I got up to date real fast. I knew where I was going, I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew what I had to do. I was going to continue spreading the love in a new way. And I was going to find it, and I did that weekend. So I want to give you now what I found that weekend. I found that I had made a pact with myself, that contract. And this is something that I'm hoping that will resonate with you, because when I do my radio show, when I started my radio show, it wasn't to get up there and blah, blah, blah for an hour. And it wasn't, to become a celebrity or what. No, it was to learn information from other people who knew other things other than what I knew. And that they would share with me, share with the audience, and everybody would get something. So I want to share with you very quickly the pact that I realized that weekend and where I had gone, because it's something that you can use for yourself. So the pact, 4 simple letters, 4 simple steps. The first step you have to do on any goal in life, whether it's meeting somebody, whether it's a new job, whether it's just changing something or shifting something in your everyday life with your kids, that pact is a plan. You have this end goal. Remember, we talked lifestyles, values, goals. What's your goal? Make a plan. Nothing happens without the plan. And I don't say you want to become a lawyer, okay, I'm going to become a lawyer tomorrow if you're working, I don't know, at McDonald's. No, you got to make a plan. The first plan is 3 months. Make it small. Make it attainable. Because the next part is you being accountable to that plan. Every part of your plan doesn't happen unless you become accountable to it. You have to make this happen. The C. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking confidence. Confidence is great. I'm a confident woman. When I got divorced, I was not competent in the dating world the way it existed today. When I dated, there was no texting. But there is now. You better know how to do it without assumptions. Otherwise, again, screwed, okay? This C is competence. Anything in life that you are confident about, ask yourself, am I also competent? You want to become a lawyer? I say great. Make a plan. And the first plan is going to be, what do I have to do to find out what I need to do to become a lawyer? What courses do I have to take? What is it that I have to activate? And the last thing, make your team. Your team that you put around you. Your coaches, the people who are going to teach you what you need to know, the people who are going to support you on your trip. The trip as you keep getting yourself up to date. And this can be applied every day to your life, in every aspect of your life. So remember this. Go home today. Make a pact, because it's up to you to make it happen. Make your plan, be accountable, be competent, and make your team. Learn the dance of communication. When somebody takes a step towards you, take a step back. It's going to be the communication that you're going to have to make this happen. I want to thank all of you very, very much. I hope you got something that you can take and use to move forward. I ask you all to raise a heart to each other, share the love, cross your arms, make that heart connect with the person beside you, and spread the love.
Cheryl Besner.